Welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. Always great to talk some baseball, some Nats baseball. Jake Russell, the Washington Post. Jake, it's been a while. Number one, great to have you on the program. Number two, happy belated birthday, my guy.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I feel like having me back on the show is a nice big birthday present.
That's right. You're getting older. I see some gray hairs, my friend.
I've been looking 75 since I was in my early 20s, so I'm kind of used to this. Is about 10 years in the making right here.
I love it.
Salt and pepper going on here.
Well, it's great to see you and great to have you on the show. So the season's over. Another disappointing season for the Nats. Where are you at with this club right now, Jake?
Well, one thing I know about Mike Rizzo is he doesn't like to sit on his hands when the offseason's going on. So I fully expect him to be active and want to make this a competitive team, at least for the division. They're definitely not going to be World Series ready. I don't think they're going to have the bandwidth to sign enough players in the offseason to make the jump from where they are now, the 5th overall pick in the draft, to a World Series contender. The challenge for Mike Rizzo this year is I feel like it's going to be more of a difficult task recruiting free agents and giving them a pitch and convincing them to join the Nats. Right now, they're in a rebooting phase. Rizzo's hesitant to call it a rebuild because a rebuild insinuates several years, 2, 3, 4 years worth. Just look at the Orioles. So I don't think he wants to go down that route. I guess he's counting this as a one-off season, a rare season where you trade off your best players. It's something that Rizzo's never done with the Nats before. So it's new territory for him. But the challenge for him is going to be convincing top-notch free agents of any sort, of any position, to come on board and join a team that's not necessarily ready to compete yet, but could be in a couple years.
I mean, I assume they're in a youth movement, and I look at Gray, the starting pitcher. I look at Ruiz, the catcher. I mean, are these guys going to be everyday players next year? Is that the plan? And maybe Thomas, the outfielder?
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, Ruiz and Gray were the centerpieces of that deal involving Trey Turner and Max Scherzer to the Dodgers. Those are two of the centerpieces they want to build around and help say, these are two of our young stars to go along with Juan Soto in the future. I imagine they're big pieces of this reboot. And Lane Thomas also played his way into the roster because it seemed like with the John Lester trade, Nats fans were like, wow, the Nats got something in return for John Lester. And then they called him up and he just played lights out. But yeah, Ruiz and Gray are definitely two of the big youth centerpieces they're going to revolve around the next few years.
And as for starting rotation, you hope, one, Corbin goes back to 2019 Corbin. He's been struggling the last 2 years. Steven Strasburg, his health. And then also, don't forget about, I'm blanking on the name, the fifth starter. He had the elbow. Joe Ross, yes, thank you. I mean, those are three guys right there. I mean, you got to hope they solidify that rotation because Mike Rizzo, as you know, he loves his starting pitchers and he builds a team around those starters.
Yeah, he reiterated that Sunday with reporters in the dugout in Nationals Park on Sunday. He said this team is still going to be starting pitching centric. That's what we're going to build around going forward. And that's the way we've always been. That's the way we're going to continue to be. But like you've addressed, Strasburg's health is a huge challenge. You can never really count on him on a week-to-week basis. But when he is healthy, he's lights out. He's fantastic, but he's just not on the field enough. He's just pitched about 23 plus innings since he signed that big $245 million contract 2 off seasons ago. Corbin has regressed drastically since pretty much being a huge part in helping the Nats win the World Series because they needed him in the bullpen when he wasn't starting, and he delivered for them big time. But since then, he has not looked anything like that 2019 version, and I don't know what he needs to do to fix that, address that. Is this a permanent issue? Is this something you can fix in off season or in spring training? I'm not sure, but it's not looking good for him. And they also need to address, obviously Josiah Gray is going to be a part of that rotation, possibly the third starter. They do need to address that situation in the back end. I wouldn't be surprised if Rizzo went out and got another starter. And it's going to be a tough juggling act because he also has to balance how much money am I putting in free agents and how much am I going to have to save and wait for when the time we have to offer a deal for Juan Soto comes around.
Yeah, Juan Soto could be costing $500 million. That is a
Good
lot.
To be Juan Soto, isn't it?
That's a lot of money. A lot of money, and certainly something Rizzo and the learners, they have to really sit down and figure out where they're going to put that money, because if you give $500 million to Soto, I mean, that's not going to be a lot left for everybody else. Finally, I want to get to Ryan Zimmerman. It looked like to me, Jake, bye-bye. He's done. That was his swan song, his goodbye at Nats Park. He's going to take some time after the season to talk about with his family. Mr. National, emotional. Boy, what a legacy.
Yeah, that's one heck of a career. I mean, you don't really expect your first, team draft pick to last pretty much every season in the organization's existence. He's been here since the middle of the first season. He has had an impact with the fans and with the organization ever since his arrival out of UVA back in 2005. He's proven he's got quite a bit left in the tank, especially as a reserve. He can rest more often. He's, fresher, he's got more pop to him, that he's available and not, dealing with injuries like he usually did when he was playing 162 every year. I feel like Rizzo said, if he wants to come back, we've got a contract ready for him waiting. And Zimmerman has also said he doesn't want to play anywhere else but in DC. So if he does come back, it's going to be with the Nats.
Jake, the holiday season around the corner. You have a great book for Nats fans. What is it called and how can they get it?
Bless your heart, Scott. It is called 100 Things Nationals Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. It covers about a century's worth of DC baseball history. It's about 70% Nationals coverage, 30% Senators and Grays coverage. It's available on JakeRussellSports.com. I updated the World Series version last March, and then shocker, the pandemic hit, so I couldn't do any autograph signings. But if you find Nats fans out there would like, it's on JakeRussellSports.com. Click on the Nationals book tab, and I'll autograph a copy for you, and I'll have it shipped out within 24 hours. So it makes a great present for any day of the week and any holiday. Not that I'm biased or anything.
Awesome. Jake, always appreciate your time and great talking baseball with you. Thank you so much.
And thanks so much, Scott. I appreciate it.
All right, much more to come right here on Toyota Sports Talk. Stay with us.